What's up, pals and gals of the YouTube world? It's your boy, the Wolfgamer 25, and we are back with another riveting segment of Figure Friday. That's right, folks. The time of the week where you and I spend some quality time together and we nerd out about all of the things, whether it be in the world of Marvel, DC, Power Rangers, film, TV, you name it. And you better believe you're going to find that here on this channel. But before the holiest of moments, and before we get into the merchandise of tonight, please, if you haven't already, do your boy a favor. If you haven't eaten already, please go get yourself something to eat. Get yourself something to snack on if you like. Maybe grab a drink or two. I mean, nothing against, alcohol or anything like that. If you like, please feel free to indulge in that too if you do drink. Me, personally, I just don't see the need for it. I mean, I'm happy to say that haven't really touched a glass or a drop of alcohol, but that's better for another lifetime. But please, do your boy a favor. Go ahead and help yourself. I'll be here waiting, and you don't gotta worry about me, folks. I do have something to drink right here. It's sweet tea for those of you guys who didn't know. But please, help yourself, and I'll be here waiting. You better believe it, folks. We're gonna get started at the 3 minute marker, just like always, and I'll be here waiting for you. That actually gives me a chance to answer some messages, which I mean I've been neglecting. I really don't know why. Mm. Also, for those of you guys who are still under quarantine, I really hope that you're handling it well and that you haven't lost your mind. Well, I mean, yet, anyways, But also, for those of you guys who are working during this thing, if you are considered an essential employee, I do hope that you're out there giving it your all and that you're killing it today. Because I gotta tell you, today it was a rough day, but I am happy to say that we got the help we needed, and I'm happy for that. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Tonight is gonna be very exciting, very exciting. But you'll guys find out. Just please, if you haven't already. I'm waiting, and I do hope you guys had a great day today. And that, hey, here's to y'all. I just want to let y'all know, because I've actually done kind of a little statistic check on this channel and my Twitch channel, and I'm happy to say that I'm seeing the numbers increase, whether it be views or subscribers. And as I said, this drink is to you guys because all the support and everything that you guys give me. I appreciate you all so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys who support the Wolfpack and who join the Wolfpack. Thank you very much. That's some good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, excuse me. Okay, folks, so judging by the clock that's posted up here in the upper left corner, we have hit the 3 minute marker. I do hope that you're relaxing because, as you know, it is that time of the night that we delve into a certain universe, folks. Now, I do hope that you guys are ready. I hope you guys sit back, relax, kick your feet up, take a breath of relief. Because, as you know, it's just you, me, and the merchandise of tonight. So, for today's review, we are actually going to be taking a walk back into the world of movies and television. That's right, folks. As for today, we are going to be introducing 3 Funkos. 2 of them I made the mistake of unboxing already, but I did, however, procure a brand spanking new one, and I do hope that you guys will enjoy it after I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to save the boxed one for last because I feel like it's sort of grand finale type, and that's just me. But also, if you guys haven't noticed, I am rocking a shirt that has a picture of Brandon Lee, also known as the Crow, another one of my favorite movies, which of course tragically saw the end of one of the world's greatest actors, and actually a son to another great individual in the world, Bruce Lee, actually. I'm sorry if I butchered that and got it wrong, but if my memory serves me right, Brandon Lee was the son of Bruce Lee, but that's best served for another time. Best served for another time. But excuse me. As I said, we're going to be taking a look in the world of movies and television today as we introduce, yes, the 3 Funkos from that beautiful and wonderful world. Not Disney, of course. No, it's not Disney. Sorry. There's going to be no Disney tonight. I'm sorry to those of you guys who are hoping for that. I do apologize. But yeah, first up, we're gonna go ahead and let me just bring him over here. Stop smiling at me like that. You're gonna get your limelight. Just relax. So, first up, sit still. First up, we're gonna introduce a particular individual who has actually made a quite the killing, if you will, in the business industry or the underworld business industry, if you will. And let me tell you, he's definitely like I'm not gonna say a smart kind of dealer, if you will. He's sort of a devious dealer because he basically manipulates in order to get what he needs best, or if he sees something he wants, or like a deal, if he feels like he can contribute to it, or even that'll benefit him, you better believe he's gonna go right after it. And of course, the only way that this particular individual can be summoned is by calling his name 3 times. But here's the kicker, folks. You don't have to be looking into a mirror in order to summon this particular individual. You really just have to have some business waiting for him, maybe a steady paycheck or something like that, or even, hey, if anything else, a bug or two, he'll take that, them juicy ones. But yeah, let me go ahead and introduce this particular individual. As you guys help me say his name, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh, yes, here he is, folks. Alive and kicking. Well, alive anyways. I don't really know about kicking, but yeah. This is actually coming from the film. If I remember right, it was actually released in the year of 1988, and it follows the story, a tragic story of a couple who was actually living in a very small town. They had the civil life, they were newlyweds. They had gotten a brand spanking new house. However, they did have this friend of theirs who worked in real estate, always trying to push them out or even trying to sell it. Of course, I'm glad that they didn't. However, um, in this film, it was actually their end that ended up being somebody else's game. Now, the reason I say that is because, as I said, these two had met a tragic accident and a tragic end, but it doesn't stop right there because the only reason it happened, ironically, was because when the couple was out driving one day, normal day, nobody would ever see it coming. They were crossing this bridge. They got about halfway in until a dog had come out of nowhere and actually caused the woman who was driving to swerve off the bridge and actually careen off. However, I kind of feel like it was the dog's fault on this one. I'm an animal lover. Don't get me wrong. It's just um, the car was, kind of teetering at the end, and the dog had stepped off, and that's unfortunately what led to the demise of the couple, of course, that we're speaking of. I can't remember the names for the life of me. What is it? What is their names? I can't remember the names, folks. I am so sorry. It's been a while since I've seen that film. I ain't gonna lie, but it's a great film. It stars Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, and Michael Keaton. And I do know that it stars. Oh man, I saw her so many times in Edward Scissorhands, but I can't remember her name for the life of me. I think it was Winona Ryder. I think it was Winona Ryder. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, let me get this here. Yeah, that's better. Excuse me. Now, you might be wondering how this particular gentleman got summoned. Now, in which case, after the demise of the couple of which we were speaking of, oh, good, thank you. I wanted to make sure, and I shout out to Chelsea Taylor because she just commented telling me I'm right. Thank you so much. The what actually led to the demise of the couple that we're speaking of was actually I see them go down into the water. However, they come back into the world of the living as ghosts. Now, what makes it kind of complicated for them is the fact that they're able to find their way back to their house, but however, it's not their house anymore because by the time that they're getting back or respawning, if you will, into their old life, their house is actually being taken over by the Dietz family, which of course enter Winona Ryder, aka Lydia. Now, how Beetlejuice ties into it is because it was kind of a mistake of sort of curiosity, because if it wasn't for the fact that the ghost couple had actually discovered Beetlejuice. Shout out to Willow Pierce also, because I see you're commenting right there. I hope she's all right. I hope you're both well. And as I said, the I see you, Chelsea. It's one of mine too. But yes. In which case, she actually called his name 3 times, and what makes it kind of crazy is that the husband of the two was actually a big, kind of diorama type guy, and he had one of basically the whole town of which they were living in, and they had the cemetery, which of course was where Beetlejuice was hanging out. Now, in doing so, as I said, the wife called his name 3 times, and somehow they ended up in the diorama. And now, in doing so, they find out where he was buried, and unfortunately, they grew curious. They dig into his grave, and unfortunately, that's what brings him back to life, and that's, of course, what helps him strike his first and maybe best deal ever, because in doing so, he had actually was able to, he had a plan, of course, because the only way for him to get out of the diorama permanently was to get hitched, or basically get married. Unfortunately, the only way out that he saw was Lydia. Now, in doing so, I don't really think that she was going along with the plan, even though, he spoke for her, her being of sound mind. But I love the fact that in this film, there's so many, just funny, wacky segments, and just the fact that Michael Keaton knows how to play an actor character. He knows how to tie it together. But the funny thing is that the thing is that scares Beetlejuice the most, which of course is the sandworm. Now, in doing so, that ends up being his ultimate demise, thanks of course to the wife. And the funny thing is that even though it seemed Beetlejuice was going to win, it was actually thanks to Lydia, who had no choice but to summon Beetlejuice in order to help her friends, which of course were the Maitlands. Now, and of course, thanks to that, one of the other guys who were in there, Otho, he was actually so close to destroying them. Now, thanks to Beetlejuice and Lydia at the same time, as much as she hated it, she actually saved their lives and their spirits, of course, which, of course, it all worked out in the end. The family, the Dietz family and the Maitland family are actually living in the same house all together in harmony and living out each other's lives in happiness and, of course, quirkiness and smiles every day. It is indeed such a good movie, Willow. It is indeed. But, yeah, that does it for Beetlejuice here. I said his name once. Maybe that'll send him back. It didn't send him back. I thought it would. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I said, I failed on doing that. But don't worry. He's going to sit still. You better believe he's going to sit still. Let me just get to the next one. Okay. Put him right there. Okay. Let me see here. Let me move this good Grand Finale right over here. Well, nah, we'll keep it right here. We'll keep it right here. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we're going to shift gears, and let me put you right over there. Next up, we're actually going to go ahead and shift gears from the television shows into the world of movies and film. Sorry. As we end up actually taking to the high seas of sort of a pirate's life, if you will. Now, this, however, I know I said in the beginning that I wasn't going to take anything from Disney, but this particular individual, he comes straight out of the Disney movies that he starred in, all 4 of them, if I remember right. He's a very talented actor. He has made other films outside of this film series, but we're actually going to be speaking about this one tonight and who the actor is, and of course, I'm pretty sure you all know this. He has always stayed true to who he is when it comes down to playing a character, especially in this one, where he's sort of swashbuckling, rum-drinking, savvy individual. And, of course, he knows how to handle a blade, and, of course, he knows how to get himself out of a tight situation when it comes down to either like negotiating or talking his way out of it, or even sometimes he'll flee right out of it. And ladies and gentlemen, I would very much like to say, as you please help me introduce, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy? Come on, camera, focus for me. Focus on Captain Jack. Now, as you can see, if my camera decides to freaking focus, as you can see, folks, he's rocking his patented bandana and, of course, his braids here. And the sword, of course, in his hand is the cutlass. Of course, the pirate's weapon of choice, as always. The one thing I'm sorry. That's just a great Funko. I keep looking at it. It just looks awesome. Some information about him. He's actually one of the, if you believe it or not, one of the 9 pirate lords of the Brethren Court. And he's who are also known as the Pirate Lords of the Seven Seas. Now, where he comes from, actually, he's coming out of the Pirates of the Caribbean series, who have made 4 successful films, as I said before. The first one, of course, The Curse of the Black Pearl. The second one following was The Dead Man's Chest. Third one, At World's End. And, of course, the fourth one was On Strange Tides. Now, each and every individual series or movie out of the series has so many great actors, actresses, following such names as, Orlando Bloom, Penelope Cruz, Geoffrey Rush, Keira Knightley. As I said, the main one here, Captain Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp, which, of course, he starred in a number of my favorite films. But honestly, if it comes down to it, the Pirates of the Caribbean series are my favorite films when it comes down to it. Mainly because of action, adventure, romance, a lot of CGI, but still big time worth it. And I love the fact that he's got a strong distaste for monkeys, which I really don't know why, but it could be the fact maybe Barbossa, which of course is his mutinous first mate, actually named his monkey after him. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe. Oh boy, I need this wig here. Oh boy. Okay, let me just put you right there. Beetlejuice, you two behave, please. Please and thank you. Would you two just behave? He's a captain. You're a Beetlejuice. Big deal. Okay. Now, last up, we're going to move on to the grand finale, folks. That's right, folks. I hope you're ready for this because this was a very rare find of a Funko. Now, he is brand new. He's coming out of the TV world. He will be, he's actually coming out of straight out of what you call, wait, let me run that back. This particular individual, he looks like he comes straight out of a creep show. I'll give you guys a minute. Because, ironically, that's basically what we're speaking of tonight. This particular storyteller, if you will, has made quite the host when it comes down to entertainment. He's an immortal specter who has a smile that would stop a heartbeat cold. And ladies and gents, please join me as we welcome for the first time your host of the Creep Show, The Creep. That's right, folks. The first one of its kind, The Creep. Now, being that he's just a skeletal specter, if you will, they've made 3 of the film series, Creep Shows 1, 2, and 3, each of them with the duration of about 5 short stories, if you will. But for some reason, I really don't understand why, because out of the first 2, there's always sort of I remember in the first Creep Show, there was an abusive father who was basically being mean to his own son, and at the end of the show, or during the course of the show, the father kept complaining that he had this nasty pain in his neck. Now, here's the kicker. At the end of the show, of the first one, the kid had actually got himself a voodoo doll because it was out of the back of the Creepshow comic book. And unfortunately, that's when he was basically, going at it, and because that he had cursed the voodoo doll to be the father, and I thought that was actually pretty funny because in a way, that abusive father, he kind of got what he deserved, and it was just funny. He's over here, he was jabbing the hell out of that thing. My apologies, folks. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the creep. And don't worry, he ain't gonna hurt you. He's just here to tell you a story, because as I said, he's an immortal specter, but he remains neutral. He never gets involved. He never gets involved in any way. He's just a storyteller. He seeks only to bring entertainment and joy, even if it comes down to conjuring up scares, screams, blood and guts. The fact also that they released the creep itself, that actually lets me believe that there's actually so many individual ones out there that I'm going to look for and add to my collection of the Wolfpack, along with more figures and memorabilia. Man, I gotta tell you. But you know what? Let me nerd out about this just a little bit, because I did see the second Creep Show. I saw that on the Shudder app, and it kind of follows the same basic concept, about 5 short stories. And I remember, I'm sorry, folks, but there is spoilers in this one. I do apologize. Please forgive me. In the second one, however, it follows the story, yet again, of a young kid. But he was getting bullied by this group of kids. And throughout the series, or the stories, as it veered off towards that end story, it showed the kid finally standing up to the head bully, and of course, kind of nailing him in between, his soft spots, if you will. And in doing so, they give chase to the boy, and the kid actually leads them to this empty-looking field. However, it's not an empty field, because the kid had actually got himself a Creepshow comic book. Also, he actually ordered something, and what he had ordered was giant Venus flytraps, which of course, he leads the kids to an open field, and that's like ringing the dinner bell, folks, because there was about 4 kids and about 3 Venus flytraps, and of course, the last thing those kids remember was just being eaten alive. Oh man, but I gotta tell you, he looks awesome. I love the fact that he's rocking that patented robe of his, that smile. As I said, that it's a lady killer smile, but just don't look at me like that, please. And of course, the little Creepshow comic book that he's got right there, that I think he's ready to read a story for you guys. I mean, I don't know if you want to sit through one of his stories, because it looks good to me. I thought the stories were great. But yeah. Before we end here, I'll give you guys one last look at the funks. Start with the creep. If the camera focuses. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, as I said, there's a little Creepshow comic book right there. He won't let me have it because he thinks I'm, going to steal it. Which, of course, I don't know why. And, of course, Captain Jack Sparrow, mate. There we go. Savvy? And, of course, he's got some jewelry here in his hair and his beard. And, of course, the Beetlegeist, the Bio Exorcist. Yeah, see, I had to say his name in a different way. That way, he wouldn't be able to get out. Now, also, I meant to show you guys this, but he is wearing that patented movie film attire. The guide hat right there, the shirt, the trench coat, and of course, the green hair, sort of kind of deadish looking skin that he's got on his face right there. And that's another killer smile. I think that him and the Creeper are going to get along famously, because in a way, Beetlejuice is the sort of, obnoxious, demonic, laughable type, because he might find stories like that or things like that, quirky. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, folks. I appreciate you all for joining me, and who will be watching this as a highlight. When this finishes uploading, don't be afraid to smash that like button, and also be afraid to hit the follow button when it appears right there. I did just recently upload a new gameplay featuring new Cybot, which is going to be posted right there whenever it uploads. And I do hope that you guys are having a great night. I hope you guys continue to have a great night. And please remember, lavas a las manos, por favor. Muchas gracias. Until then, next time, guys, stay safe, stay awesome, stay weird, and stay yourselves, huh? Peace.